For the first time in decades, the state is overhauling the way it funds foster care. Lawmakers voted this session to modernize the way it pays families and providers who care for some of our most vulnerable children. With a child welfare system that's been under fire for the last decade, investigator Avery Travis takes an in-depth look at how the plan will be implemented.
A child's needs aren't simple.
It is a very complicated formula.
And neither is calculating the cost of meeting them.
Really what we need to do is build a system that adapts around the child and works and evolves with that child.
Historically, the state has paid foster families and treatment providers a set daily rate per child. The amount depends on one of 5 service levels, from basic up to intense and intense plus. But Katie Olse with the Alliance of Child and Family Services says as children develop, their needs can change, and the necessary dollars don't always evolve with them.
The legislature saw and the state agreed the old way wasn't yielding what we want or what we could have.
2 years ago, the Department of Family and Protective Services released the results of a report showing the current rate structure did not realistically reflect the time and cost of staffing and providing care. The report also said it did not reward providers for helping a child improve. So this session, lawmakers approved a new structure where the state will instead pay providers for service packages, with costs associated with those services, instead of a per-child rate. That way, it's more tailored to what each child needs.
So it won't be a switch that gets flipped overnight. It's something that will take time to implement just because it is such a monumental change.
So providers like Jesse Boer with DePelchin Children's Center are hopeful. But with missteps in the state's child welfare system making headlines over the last decade, we asked Olse how Texans can trust this rollout will go smoothly.
And I think there's going to be a lot of checks and balances, but we're all very committed to the end goal, which is resources being spent the right way to help serve children and families in communities.
Avery Travis for State of Texas.
Keep in mind, the Texas system has been under the supervision of a federal judge and court-appointed monitors for more than a decade. We asked the Department of Family and Protective Services about this new system and how they'll ensure it best serves foster children. A spokesperson told us this is the long-awaited breakthrough to a foster care infrastructure that works as intended, not only for our children and youth, but for their caretakers and providers. Thank you again for joining us for State of Texas. I'm Josh Hinkle. We'll be back next week to bring you an in-depth look at Texas politics.